Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, Faith Blacklights, we take a look at this. And what this is from the Poppin shop, it is the Jalapeno Ghost Cheddar popcorn. And it, I think, is probably a bit worse to wear from shipping. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it is. So we've got, what do we got here? Okay. Down towards the bottom, we have ghost pepper and ghost pepper extract. And aged red peppers, I don't know what that means. Cayenne, possibly. Could be something else. Yeah. I've had a number of popcorns on this here video series, which you can check out. Not quite enough, I don't think, to do its own playlist. Unless I do popcorn and maybe like cheese puffs, maybe, but doesn't seem really a reason to split that up at the moment, so I'm not going to. If that is something that you'd like, if you'd like more playlists, let me know. But, so you can see it looks like a cheese popcorn. Let's give it the old smell test. This smells just like a cheddar cheese popcorn. Did I see the word? So it's supposed to be jalapeno. Maybe that's what the aged red peppers are. Where, oh, where is jalapeno? Where, oh, where can my jalapeno be? It's gone somewhere. So I've got to be good, so I can find my jalapeno when I leave this world. You know, it's kind of amazing, the stuff they used to rhyme in songs back whenever that song was a thing. So where is my jalapeno gone? I suppose it's probably behind this. You know, one of the issues with getting stuff, this is such a niche complaint too. I know that in advance. Probably nobody else cares about this. I'll just say it anyway. One of the issues I have with getting stuff from Amazon, where I got this, and it was not an inexpensive thing to do, by the way, getting it from Amazon, but they put the sticker over the ingredients, which is extremely asinine to do. Like, what? Look at all this space you've got. Look at it. Look. It's right before your eyes. Oh, the space. There's so much of it. But they put it over the ingredient label. So, fortunately, I've already checked, and there's nothing that should cause any allergic issues. But, you know, seriously, I get it. Working at Amazon sucks. The conditions are awful, and they don't pay you enough. And I get it. I'm with you 100%. Organize to the hilt. I back you fully. But you know what? Take a little pride. Use your goddamn brains. And don't put barcodes over ingredient lists. You know, let us, that's a separate issue, okay? Get it together over there. All right, so that aside, let's oh man, these are not huge puffy things, are they? All right, let's go for it. It's kind of wet. You know how if you pour something kind of liquidy on popcorn, it will tend to absorb it, and it'll, when you start filling up all of the air pockets in popcorn, it starts to have that sort of compressed thing to it. Like, if you want to know what I mean, go to a movie theater, get extra butter. And about halfway down, you'll notice an absence of fluffiness. So, texture-wise, I don't like this. I prefer my popcorn to be a touch fluffier. All right. We'll just set that right there. Look at empty packaging. All right, we're gonna go for a burn. This is, so there is a slight amount of heat to this. The texture I don't like. It feels a bit greasy in my mouth. I'm not a fan of that. And I don't know enough about popcorn to say why that would be the case or why it wouldn't. I remember Orville Redenbacher used to make a big deal about how popcorn, his popcorn anyway, would come light and fluffy. That was back in the early days of microwave popcorn. That was a big, big deal because microwave popcorn was trying to supplant. I don't know how many people are actually old enough to remember any of this, but that was trying to supplant what was an air fryer craze for a while. And microwave popcorn was trying to do the best of both worlds, to have it flavored like if you made it on a stove in a pan, as well as to have the sort of light and airy air pop nature of things. So this one, unfortunately, kind of fails on both counts, but the flavor isn't bad. It does taste like cheddar. Okay, let's try to get into the heat. Heat is minimal right now. We'll go for a burn. See what we see. I almost feel like I should be eating this with a spoon. These are just very saturated. So I can't say I'm getting any sort of jalapeno flavor out of this. It is very much a vague kind of pepper flavor. Mostly the extract is masked pretty well from this cheese. But I do get little bits of bitter that kind of read through a little bit. A very slight build to this point. I'll give it a default one. Maybe by the end we'll get all the way to a legit one. I feel like there'll be more than that. If you've spent any time on the blog in particular, or even with a lot of the content in the video series, you'll know I'm not really a fan of extract. To me, it just tends to ruin every sauce it's in. Now, there's a lot of products I've had with extract in it. I think maybe some of the challenge products I've had, some of the hot sauces to be sure. I think maybe a chocolate. Every single one of the Korean, well, not every single one, but a lot of the Korean noodles. There's playlists for a lot of this stuff. Point being, not every single thing that has extracts is bad per se. Sometimes you can cover up the flavor. But to me, it's, just use pepper. Although, I have had a few challenge products, and there's even a few of the fast food entries out there that just overly rely on powder. Which definitely makes it hot. But it doesn't make it taste particularly good. This is, as I get more into it, the balance here is a bit questionable. But it honestly depends on how saturated the individual pieces are. I need a spoon. I am getting a cumulative extract burn in the very, very back of my throat. Which is kind of interesting. I guess the final word on extracts and powders is that I don't know that either one of them really helps with flavor. If you go with chili flakes, or you go with whole chilies, yeah. Extracts and powders, though, are, I think, really hit and miss. Now, primarily I'm doing a lot of sauces, so I don't always cook with a lot of those things. Most of the time what I will do is make a dish normally and then add something to it, like sauce. That is my strong preference. I mean, I might cut some habaneros, or especially Fresnos, in. There's a place that I think sells ghost pods, so I might start doing that this year. Just from a foodie perspective, just kind of explore where I think chilies are at their best. I have never, for instance, thought it was raw. So my preference is cooked over raw. And then, you know, we refine it more. My next preference is fire roasted. And from there, it's probably smoked. And then way down there would be like the flakes and the powders and stuff. And not at all, even in the conversation, would be extract. Okay, well, there's that. Okay, so having just finished this, what is this? It's like I don't know, it's a couple ounces maybe, something like that. I do have an extract aftertaste in my mouth right now, which I don't appreciate. But I'm not going to give it past the default one. It is certainly a default one. Definitely, I mean, with the extract, there is a bit of a burn there. It's a very, very low-key burn, though. There is some bitterness on the tip of my tongue and a little bit towards the back of my mouth. Whereas it's the sort of extract flavor has finally broken through the cheddar cheese and the... Assuming there's jalapeno in here somewhere. So heat-wise, yeah, I mean, I think you could probably get all the way to a legit one depending on the batch. This particular bag was only a default one for me, but definitely it has got the sense that there's extract heat burns differently than do pods for me anyway. And this definitely feels more like an extract burn. And I've got a bunch of husks in my teeth. Great. Oh, popcorn, what will we do with you? Flavor-wise, though, so the extract is a problem. For me, anyway. As it wore on, the taste of the extract it just builds over time. But like I said, it is more of a vague, sort of generally peppery flavor. Like if you have a jalapeno Cheeto, for instance, you can sense that they're really trying to push the jalapeno flavoring. This, not so much, which kind of surprised me. I thought there'd be more jalapeno flavoring than anything else. And jalapeno is a good flavored pepper. It's a good one to use. But for me, it's just kind of a cheddar-ish with a sort of, like I said, a vague, sort of, you know, generic, I guess for lack of a better word, sort of peppery flavor to it. But I think it was interesting. Probably not among my favorites, though. Like I said, I prefer fluffier popped kernels. And the flavoring system of the seasoning I thought was... I've had worse, I've had better. I guess I just put this one somewhere in the middle. And we'll just leave it right there. So that was the Poppin' Shop Jalapeno Ghost Cheddar Popcorn. Now go full in peace to serve the flame.